Everything you were taught about the origin of civilization is a lie. Not a small lie. Not a, oops, we got the date wrong by a century kind of lie. But a fundamental structural collapse of the human story. For decades, the narrative was simple. We were hunter-gatherers. Then we discovered farming, then we settled down, and finally, only then did we build temples. But in 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt stood on a dusty hillside in southeastern Turkey and realized the pyramid of history had been built upside down. He found Göbekli Tepe, a site so massive, so complex, and so impossibly old that it shouldn't exist. It's 6,000 years older than Stonehenge. It's 7,000 years older than the Great Pyramid of Giza. But here's the part they do not want to talk about in the textbooks. The people who built this didn't just walk away. They didn't let time bury it. They buried it themselves, on purpose, with precision. Why would a civilization spend decades building a masterpiece, only to hide it from the world for 12,000 years? What were they afraid of? Today we go beneath the surface. Today the truth comes out. Let's look at the math, because the math doesn't lie. We are told that 12,000 years ago, humans were primitive. We used sharpened sticks and flint stones. We spent every waking hour looking for berries or chasing mammoths. Now look at Pillar 43. It's a 20-ton limestone monolith. It is carved with high-relief sculptures of vultures, scorpions, and strange humanoid figures holding handbags that appear in almost every ancient culture on Earth. To carve this, you need hardened tools. To move this, you need a workforce of hundreds, organized by a central authority. You need engineers, you need architects. You need a food supply to feed people who aren't hunting because they are busy carving stone. But wait, the official record says agriculture hadn't been invented yet. So, how did they feed the workers? If there was no farming, there was no surplus. If there was no surplus, there was no specialized labor. It's a paradox that breaks modern archaeology. Either they were farming much earlier than we thought, or they were using a technology we haven't rediscovered yet. Before we get to the vulture stone and the hidden star maps, do me a favor. If you think the history we are taught in school is missing a giant piece of the puzzle, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this community is ready for the truth. Klaus Schmidt once said, "The temple came before the city." But it wasn't just a temple. Many researchers believe Göbekli Tepe was a massive stone-bound observatory. Look at the enclosures. They are circular. The pillars are aligned with specific constellations, most notably Orion and Sirius. But 12,000 years ago, the stars were not where they are now. When you use computer models to reverse the night sky to 10,500 BC, the alignment is perfect. On Pillar 43, the vulture stone, we see a series of symbols that look like a date. Many astrophysicists now believe this is a memorial to a global catastrophe, a record of a comet strike that turned the world to ice and wiped out a previous, even older civilization. This brings us to the most chilling question of all. If Göbekli Tepe was a message, who was it for? If they knew a disaster was coming, were they trying to preserve their knowledge for us? And why are there identical handbag symbols found here, and also in Sumerian carvings, and also in the hands of the Olmecs in Mexico? How can three cultures, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, all share the same tool of the gods? Around 8,000 BC, something strange happened. The people at Göbekli Tepe didn't go to war. They weren't conquered. They took buckets, thousands and thousands of buckets of clean soil and stone chips. They filled in the temples. They covered the carvings. They turned a masterpiece of architecture into a man-made hill. They mummified the site. Usually, when a site is abandoned, you find trash, broken pots, and debris. At Göbekli Tepe, the fill dirt is clean. It was a ritual burial. They wanted this place to stay frozen in time. They wanted it to stay hidden until... when? Until we were smart enough to find it? Or until we were in danger again? We are only scratching the surface. Only 5% of Göbekli Tepe has been excavated. What lies in the other 95%? The first domino has fallen. We now know that 12,000 years ago, humans were not primitive. They were masters of stone, stars, and spirit. But if Göbekli Tepe was the safe house for their knowledge, what was the event they were hiding from? To understand that, we have to look at the scars on the earth itself. We have to look at the fire that fell from the sky and the flood that followed. In the next video, we investigate the Younger Dryas cataclysm, the moment the world ended, and why the evidence is hidden in our own DNA. Subscribe to Terra Incognita AI and turn on all notifications. You don't want to miss the next piece of this forbidden timeline. The hill is screaming. It's time we listened. Click the bell icon, watch the next episode on the global fire that resets humanity.